Hi guys. Some bit of feedback there. It's Andy from mcfcfantv. Welcome to this vlog, live vlog. Obviously, everyone is familiar with the news today. Last night was announced the new European Super League. 6 clubs from England, the Premier League, have joined it. And we're going to have a debate all about it, and we'll get into your comments as well. Before we do start, I do want to say a massive thank you. Bit of shh in the background from somebody. Whether it's not loud or something. But thank you to our patrons, Philip Ward, Malcolm Horner, Ozzy, Charlie Everett, Ronnie Beaver. Thank you very much. We do also have Sean Fogarty today to add to that list as well. So thank you very much, Sean Fogarty, as well. But anyway, as we know, last night, late last night, yes, 7 o'clock thereabouts, statement was given that 6 Premier League teams are going to join this group of 12 to join this new European Super League. Now, before we get into some of the questions and comments, obviously most of us woke this morning thinking, what's going on? Is it really true? Is it not? Well, the statement from Kevin Parker, who obviously the official supporters club, says football supporters will have seen reports in the media that 6 English Premier League clubs, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs, have agreed to form a breakaway European Super League along with other high-profile European teams. These stories have now been confirmed and do include City, and we are extremely disappointed to have that confirmation. Manchester City FC official supporters club are totally opposed to anything which creates a breakaway European Super League. This proposed new competition has no sporting merit and would seem to be motivated by greed. Furthermore, it's been created without the knowledge or input of any supporters groups, and once again shows those involved have zero regard for the game's traditions. We are determined to fight against this proposed Super League and will once again work with the 1894 group, all of the fan groups, to do everything we can to ensure our voices are heard. These owners, irrespective of where they come from, seem to think football belongs to them. It doesn't. It belongs to us, the supporters, irrespective of which team we support. So that was the official line from Manchester City FC official supporters club by Kevin Parker this morning. And I know Kevin has just been talking as well with Simon Pachowski of the MEN about it as well, and he's very, very disappointed. So first up, let's just say a quick hello to everyone, then we'll get into it. Sean says, I've got school tomorrow, so I'll miss it. Don't worry, mate. Thang Bang says, I remember this time last year, 8 Premier League teams, of which top 5 big, and some Spanish team want City ban to be upheld. I'm quite puzzled why City joined this joke league. Beyond me, you meant. Yeah. Charlie Everett, let's start the show with some positive news. Congratulations, Man City, on winning the Premier League 2. That been official, so that's obviously that's good news. King FIFA says hi. He says, I'm still fuming, but business is business. Don't see it that way. So sad as long time. Blue, this is just so wrong, Andy, and all the Man City Fan TV and my fellow Blues on the chat. Milky says, whoever decides to join Greedy League should hold out and be sacked. Have we confirmed left the ECA yet? Because I know lots of other clubs have. Well, there's been plenty of senior officials have left the ECA. I don't think City, the problem being is City have not come out and made any official statement whatsoever other than the disgusting one they put on the website with Joel Glazer's name in it. Hi guys, been a City fan for over 40 years, highs and very lows. Today's lower than a low. It's a disgrace and proves these so-called big clubs mean nothing to us, the fans. I'm angry and feel like a divorce. It feels like a divorce. Teddy Master says, if Man City do leave, I refuse to support them. We also have to bear in mind as well, it's not the players, it's not the manager. And let's face it, most of the time, it is the players and the manager we support as fans, not necessarily the owners, though it does feel like after all the crap we've been through with UEFA and the way that we've defended our owner and our board of directors and chairman and everything else, it does feel like a bit of a kick in the teeth after everything that we've done in the past, 2, 3, 4 years. But anyway, over to you guys. Martin, you went to the Etihad tonight. If you haven't seen it, the video is on the channel. It was live. I put it on there about 15, 20 minutes ago. So it's only a short video, but if you want to go over it, Martin was outside the Etihad, did interview a couple of fans outside there as well. So that is on the YouTube channel now. But Martin, what are your overall thoughts on it?
Probably tell from the face how I feel about it. The moment I'm still feeling a little bit numb, a little bit can't believe what I've read, seen, everything else. It's moved at such an accelerated rate, which I think was done on purpose. Don't think this was done accelerated by total accident, because they knew when the UEFA were going to announce these new Champions League rules and regimes. They just wanted to get it in the day before, just so they could. I also think the time it was announced last night, again, was to suit America rather than ourselves. And that's why I think it kept getting pushed back. I find it very two-faced at the moment. Like you just said there, the club, the media bashing we had for 2 years on FFP, and it was all done by the cartel of Liverpool, United, Arsenal. It was done by the Americans, owners. And we've now got into bed with them. That's the bit I'm a bit... And the other thing, I'm sorry, legacy fans. Me, you, Chris, and anyone else who's been to the Etihad Main Road, we're legacy fans now, chaps. We're the past. So I know they want the FIFA generation, no offence, but they want the youngsters in now. And I joke with you, I got Nick, we had a bit of... if you go back on the channel 3 months ago, Andy went, the club see you as a customer, and I got quite upset and went, no, they don't, no, they don't, no, they don't. Well, God, have I got egg on my face today? Because, that's exactly what I am. I'm a customer. And my 38 years means sod all to this football club. I did something today I've never done. I've not been to a game in God knows how long. And I got offered a final ticket for Sunday. And I told the club where to shove it. Maybe it was emotional, maybe it was run on, whatever, but I'm not saying I would have gone anyway, jumping through as many hoops as you had to go, but the last thing on my mind was doing a PCR test. At the moment, you remember that film Sleeping with the Enemy? That's literally what we've done today. We've gone to the fans, screw you for the 2.5 years, because no one else defended us. It was the fans on Twitter, social media, on here. We went hell for leather defending that club. And to not even be spoken to or anything, it was just done. And it had to be done this way. I hope the reports of us U-turning tonight is some of the rumours are saying are true. I'm not going to lie, though. The damage has somewhat been done a little bit now, because I've never, ever said a bad word about Khaldoon or Sheikh Mansour. I'm struggling to find a positive, because those two will have signed off on this, no doubt. And I think the money people have spoke to said it's a negotiation tactic for money. I think the money's too high to even be a negotiation tactic. UEFA can't even sit down at that sort of negotiation level, 3.5 billion. They can't even get in the ballpark with it. They're not even at the starter gates with it. The money they're talking is astronomical. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Just right now, I feel hurt. I'm running on emotion. And I don't know. And people, may think, Martin, you've turned down a ticket. Why are you being silly? I'll take your place. Take my place. Go and have a great day. Just right now, I'm hurt. And I went down to the stadium. There was banners up. Managed to see, go and check it out. Spoke to a Chelsea fan. You'll be amazed how many United, Chelsea, we're all united in this. This is the rivalry's out the window. we are all in the same boat right now. And I just hope, what happens, I'll let you go into that about what could happen on Friday with the meetings and everything else. I feel like this whole season's now a bit written off. A bit like, well, where are we going with the league? Because you're not going to do anything. You're not going to get a Champions League place out of it. You're going to get a title and you don't know what that means. Carabao Cup on Sunday, well, that's kind of going to go out the window a bit now, possibly. There's so much that's up in the air, and it's just, why at this time of the season? Why, when we're on this march, do we do this? Why? Someone said to me today, it's City-itis, and we've done it to our bloody self today. And it's, I just where I am, because if I went anymore, I think I might, yeah.
Chris? Well, a lot of what Martin said is pretty much how I feel as well. Fair play to Kevin Parker's statement, but I think the word disappointment is a bit weak. I'm angry, really angry about it.
I think he's actually said more than that on Twitter, in his personal Twitter account today. I think he's been very, very vociferous on it.
Yeah, I think the lack of fan consultation on this is absolutely disgusting, because they are the owners of our club. But it's our club. We've been here for generations. Our families have been, and all these people, kids who come in now, I don't care how long you've supported City, whether it's 2 minutes or 50, 60, 70 years, you're invested in that. Then you've been let down by the club massively today, by people who said they would uphold the traditions of Manchester City when they first came in. You couldn't throw away any more tradition than the potential of getting thrown out of the English League game. And what for? Dirty money. I'm embarrassed that the club have got into bed with the likes of the Glazers and Henry and Gazidis and all these people, because of all they've spent their time doing for the last few seasons is trying to stitch City up. They've had their FFP, they've had us at court, and UEFA aren't blameless in this, but UEFA's hand was forced by these clubs, and we've got into bed with them. And for me, that is it's embarrassing. And they've sold the soul of the club. And, the only positive to come out of this, after Brexit and everything, guess what? The country's united. Every single fan of football is disgusted by this. And that includes, I've not seen an Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea or us, any of our fans say anything different. We're all disgusted by it. And if this is the way it's going to go, mate, well, there you go. And if they do a U-turn, they've still scored probably the biggest own goal in Manchester City's history. And that's saying something after Richard Dunn's career at City. This is, it is, I am just so frustrated. I've had a bit of a headache all day, and it's all down to this, mate. So, I don't know where we go, because even if they do the U-turn, the level of hurt I'm feeling, it's like your missus just turned around and told you, I've been sleeping with a guy next door. You know what I mean? And that's how it feels. It won't happen anymore. Great. I don't know, mate. I'm gutted.
Well, I mean, Mark Boland says here, just more news from Romano. AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Juve am backing out. And if Chelsea, City, AC into Juve, that will stop it. Well, on that one, there has been rumours. No, it's not been confirmed. There has been quite a few bits and pieces on social media this evening saying that City and Chelsea are looking to do a U-turn on this and felt that their hands were forced, basically, and they're hoping that they can speak to a couple. They ideally saying they need 3, maybe get Spurs or somebody else to go in with them. And that may force the hand of the rest of the Premier League clubs to refuse to do it. But like you said, even if that does, the damage, the reputational damage that we as fans, for me, thought and looked upon our owner and chairman and everything else, regardless of whether, people can argue, well, when something to do with the Agnelli thing, and when he quit his role with the ECA, that basically left City in a no-win situation. That if they didn't join, then they would be left out in the cold. Well, sometimes sometimes you have to make a stand for what's right, and what's in the best interest of football, not yourself. And it's not like we. And I know we posted 120 odd million losses, and other clubs will be posting similar amounts. And that money is definitely useful in the current climate. But my God, if any club doesn't really need the money, it's Manchester City. And the way they've gone about it, though, for me, is that statement on the official website, almost like welcoming Joel Glazer to the Man City, family. I just thought, who was given the okay on that? Is it Berardi?
No, it was that one. Every single one of the clubs had the same one.
Yeah, but who said, "Oh yeah, that'll go down really well"? It was on the United. It's on the Liverpool. It's like on the Liverpool official site. With I do find it.
You have the nerve though to blame the pandemic for it all. You read the statement. It's all the pandemic's fault why they've got into this road.
It's absolute nonsense. They've been speaking about this for months and months and months. Thank you very much, Kamal Dwyer. When this falls through, Khaldoon needs to walk. Pretty strong statement that, but at the end of the day,
Sorry, I think on that, Andy, he's got so much credit in the bank, but I think he has just spent it all in one go. You know what I mean? It's certainly a viable option.
That's how it feels, though, doesn't it, Chris? It does feel that after everything, all the way the fans have supported the club through this whole, and look, we all had in the back of our minds there was something going on and whatever else, but we stuck with it. Few fans didn't. Few fans weren't happy about it, but we stuck with it. We supported them. We spent months and years getting grief on social media and everything else from other opposition fans, and then they go and do this. I agree. It's like literally he had so much credit in the bank. It's just literally just spent it, like you said, in one thing. And it's like I don't even think I know it's probably an emotional day, and in time, in time people may forgive, but I think a lot of people are not going to forgive the board for this. It's going to be very, very interesting.
I've seen people say, they've shown the true colours. Now, whether that is the case or not,
it's the whole. Sorry, Chris, go on, Chris.
No, you go, mate. Go on.
It's the whole. I'm in my head. I know where this is going, because if anyone here thinks in the next 3 years we're playing at the Etihad week in, week out, you need to wake up. You know where this is going, because what this will do in the end, we'll start off at the Etihad, and then in 3, 4, 5 months, we'll have maybe a couple of games in New York. Then we'll roll over into India. Then we'll maybe go somewhere, and it'll become a roadshow, and it'll become a circus. And that's why I think maybe that was the legacy comment of, thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for the memories, but you're now yesterday's news.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is with that, though, Martin, that the JP Morgan investment and things like that is not about. It's not about fans. It's clearly not about fans, because what it's about is TV subscriptions.
Yeah.
So that's the American model as well. Because you only have to look at what the Boston Celtics stadium holds.
Mm-hmm.
Compare that to how much people buy their subscriptions to watch American sports and things. It's massive. So that they're never been bothered about. They don't make that much money from fans being in the stadium anyway.
Oh, no.
It's all about TV subscriptions, so they won't be bothered about that. I do feel a little bit sorry for the players in this, because if you're now going, well, hold on a minute here. The rumours are whether legally they can do this, but they're going to, by all accounts, stop City. City won't be allowed to play in the Premier League, the biggest league in world football. They are saying that FIFA would stop them playing international football as well. Any of the players affiliated with these 12, the Dirty Dozen, the FIFA could ban them from playing international football. So that's your country, representing your country. And remember, we have some of ours that are, captains, vice captains of their country, have represented, them for many, many years.
We've got the World Cup coming up.
With the World Cup and the Euros and all of these things. So you've got that. You've got the African Cup of Nations. You've got a lot of players who play in that as well. So they could ban them from that potentially because they fall under FIFA. So FIFA could get their own way with this. But not only that, you're expecting these players to go on this road trip overseas, away from their families, all this type of stuff. Well, how long is that going to last? Are they going to go on the road for 3 weeks, 6 weeks? Is it going to be like what basketball's like in the United States, where they go on these trips and they literally play, all these games? It's just, I can't see an upside to it. That's the thing. If there was an upside to it, and it was, let's say, a new formatted Super League in Europe and that type of stuff, and it was whatever, I still don't like the idea of once you're in, that's it. There's that's disgraceful. And no matter what Arsenal fans and Spurs fans and that say, but let's face it, Arsenal had their day many years ago, but Spurs, what? I mean, come on, Jesus Christ Almighty!
Martin's
yeah, they could do. But look how many trophies we've won over the last decade.
Oh yeah,
so there's a bit in the current climate.
Yeah,
but we've regularly been in the quarterfinals at the Champions League. It will. Then we've got this thing. Martin Samuel. I was just listening to Martin Samuel on with Danny Kelly on Talk Sport, and he turned around and they were talking. Obviously, the Liverpool Leeds game's going on, or was going on at the time. And he said, "I've got absolutely no interest in it. I haven't." He said, "In fact, I've given up my opportunity to go to the Villa City game to report on it on Wednesday night because I've got no interest in it whatsoever. This is a journalist. This is a reporter. That's his job." And yet, somebody, as influential as Martin Samuel, who's wrote about UEFA and everything for years and years and years and years and years, and has stuck up for City for many years. For him, as a journalist, a top journalist, to say, "I'm not going to turn up on Wednesday night and report on that game," that says something in my book anyway. But by all accounts, it looks like they still want to push ahead with this to start in August. Whether that will happen, I've got no idea. Very much doubt it. But the Norwegian UEFA delegate has come out with a statement to say, by Friday, City and the other teams that are in the UEFA Champions League, the 3 teams out of the 4 remaining, except for obviously PSG, who's not in it, could be out of the Champions League this season by Friday. I don't know legally how they're going to do all this. I mean, because I'm sure there'll be objections, and I think the 12 clubs and certainly the 6 clubs in the Premier League have already started legal proceedings to stop the likes of the Premier League, UEFA, FIFA taking any sanctions against them doing this. Where that will go and what happens, is that going to be wrapped up? Is that going to be in another 6 months' time? We get another CAS hearing on this thing, and what happens in the meantime to the Champions League? Can they kick us out? Will they kick us out? Will they try to kick us out? What happens to the Premier League? What happens?
Well, there's a meeting tomorrow, isn't there, with the other 14 clubs?
Yeah.
We're not invited to it, but there's a meeting tomorrow with that.
And would you? And would you?
No, but it's just like you said, and and maybe I'm making an excuse, but these players and Pep have an inkling on Saturday, because when I thought about it more and more, I thought, I'm not making an excuse here on that performance because it was a shambles. They look flat, and Pep's opinion was always go out and we win every game and we want to win every game, and every single one of them looked a bit off. And now I'm thinking, was there an inkling by Saturday that this was coming, that something was heading out? And then I'm just, the thing is, we've got a cup final we've got a game Wednesday, a cup final Sunday, and I'm sat here going, I'm sort of like a bit, well, we might be out of all this in like 2 weeks and gone. Where are we going from here?
Yeah.
And it's not the players' fault. I mean, big up to João Cancelo today. And I know he did it sort of very cleverly, but Bruno Fernandes and Cancelo have gone out and supported one of them. What someone, former player or a player said, football's more than money. And I know João Cancelo and Bruno Fernandes liked it, and they were like, so I think they're quietly going to be done. It'll be interesting what Pep does tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be. I know
interesting.
a few players have come out. I mean, Ander Herrera, he spoke out on Twitter this morning quite vocally about it. David Silva's posted no to the Super League, and he posted on his Instagram account about that. I think Yannick Bolasie and I think even Zinedine Zidane has come out as well. Klopp tonight in his pre-game presser, he turned around, and obviously a very awkward position for him because he's been very vocal about it a number of months ago about these breakaway leagues and said absolutely not for him. And Liverpool being the main culprits in this with Manchester United, let's not forget, it puts him in a very awkward position, and he's basically, in so many words, said, "I'm not happy about it." He said, "I don't know much more about it." We had a small briefing this morning to the players. But be interested to see what Pep says tomorrow when questioned on this. Will Klopp walk away from it? Will Pep? You know what Pep's like for his moralistic stances on things. Will
I never
Pep
thought
be
I'd say
thinking?
this. I'd applaud him if he did.
Well, it's.
I'm sorry, I'm not with it. And there's people in the comments saying, "Oh, it's just posturing. Don't worry."
I don't think it is.
They've still done the damage. Whether even if you turn on this, that damage is done.
On that Danny Kelly show tonight, Simon Jordan was on with Martin Samuel, Sean Custis, and a couple of other people as well. Now, Simon Jordan was speaking about this morning, and his viewpoint this morning on, if you listen to it on the Jim White show, was this is pretty much posturing, and it'll be, let's go to the worst extreme, and then let's see what we can get financially, blah, 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 and they'll somewhere meet in the middle, and it'll all go ahead, and everything, we'll all shake hands on it. Tonight, he said, after everything I've heard and read by the people within the sport, this is not posturing. They are deadly determined to go ahead with this, the 6 clubs, the 12 clubs, the Dirty Dozen, whatever you want to call them. He said, I've actually changed my mind today by everything I've read, everything I've listened to. And he thinks they're deadly serious about going ahead with this. Now, will it take a City and a Chelsea, maybe, who seem to be the outside leg, join us to this? Will it take those two to go, you know what, we've had a rethink, we've seen this outrage, and we don't want to support it, and maybe get Spurs or somebody else on board? I don't know. I really don't know. That's only for the people on the inside to know those things. But this all comes down to money. Well, if you think about Premier League and Champions League, if you're involved in those competitions, you'll probably earn around about, if you win the Premier League, around about 220 million that season. Well, they're already being offered 300 million straight away just to join it. Then no guarantee, and then guarantees of, once you're in, you're in. You can't be demoted. You have to also bear in mind 3.3 billion a year UEFA make on revenue, and so maybe there is an issue with what the big clubs see is not sharing the money for the top clubs who bring in the revenue for UEFA. Maybe they've been greedy as well. Well, you only have to look at what they've done now with this new competition. More games, more nonsense, garbage nonsense in 2024, purely to get more TV revenue. That's all it is. But I don't know. I
can't wait for a 3 a.m. game in New York.
Yeah,
I just can't wait for it. It's top of my agenda. This.
Well, I mean, it's like UEFA have already announced the approval of this tournament in 2024. I'd like to know who voted for that, because none of the managers were happy about it. Pep spoke about it. More games. Klopp came out and said the same thing. Well, that's even more games you want us to play. So I don't believe any of the managers. Now, whether the chairmen of these and owners of these clubs are happy playing more Champions League games, I'd like to know who voted and approved this UEFA one. There doesn't seem to be any Who was voting on this? I don't know. Are they just pushing it through as well without any consultation periods and things? So they're all in it for money. It's top and bottom of it at the end of the day. But
I think
it's very
Sefrin has come out, Andy. I think Sefrin's come out, hasn't he, and said that they've all been working on it, and in the background, these are 12 clubs have been working on separate. The snakes, aren't they, as they called them, and that's exactly what it is. But I think there's such a huge backlash that's gone on. Who the hell is going to join the 12? So we're going to just have 12 teams in the league.
PSG PSG will. The PSG are being clever at the minute. They'll lose the World Cup. So what they're going to do is, we'll get the World Cup done, then we'll join you when that's done. They've got to be a little bit on the clever side at the minute, PSG.
I think Agnelli's sort of one of the driving forces behind this, and he PSG as a club, he definitely does not like. He doesn't. So it wouldn't no surprise that they've not been asked to join it, or they have, or they were refused, or whatever's happened. But it's interesting because you said there about Sefrin making them statements about these snakes, and you mentioned Agnelli. Agnelli's the godfather to Sefrin's daughter.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I read that on the Ed Woodward. Because then he was meeting with Ed Woodward, and he said
the day before.
He looked, He said, we are,
all looks good.
Fine. And the next day, we're out, and he's like, he just lied to me face. So they've all resigned the posts off. It's apparently rumouredly all the clubs have resigned from the ECA. So I don't know. This is where the chucking them out the UEFA competitions has now come, because technically we haven't got a license to actually now be in it. Yeah. But why would you want to win a competition that technically we're never going to play again anyway? Now that's done. Forget that, ta-ra. So why would you want to lift it anyway? Why are you bothered?
You could level that at the Premier League, because if the Premier League decides to chuck us out as well, what's the point in winning that? It's mental.
It makes me laugh how they think they can still go back to the Premier League, play there every week, go and have Pep's moaning at, I know it's not Pep's, but the clubs are moaning about overkill of the players. Well, let's go and have 20, 25 games, because don't forget, you got your playoffs. Even when you finish first, you've got to go jogging into a playoff. Like, what? It's just, it is a overgrown invitational friendly worth a shitload of money. That's all it is.
It is somebody who, it's the only person I've read, so he might be on a piss take or don't really know much about football, or never been a fan and supported a club and invested time, money and energy into it. But he says, I think that the idea of a Super League is great. You probably watch your football on TV, mate. So, I mean, you probably do think it's a great idea, but not for me. 12 clubs, what you have to play.
Finds it great because he'll get to see it live in about a year's time. That's why.
Maybe. He thinks it should not be denied that the biggest schemers and corrupt football world are indeed FIFA, UEFA, and 6 FIFA confederations and national football federations. Well, I mean, you're right in what you say there. Things I thought I'd never say. Bring back Swales.
Jesus. Imagine Colin Bell. I thought that today when I put that Colin Bell post, and I'm like, I'd love to have known his thoughts on this today.
Yeah. Andy Blooming says it's all USA circus. They'll be changing clubs next to Manchester Tigers and all that. Well, yeah. I mean, by then, I won't. I don't care. They can call themselves whatever, because they won't be my club anyway.
So that's you see what Leeds did. Leeds did that tonight. I told you that. I think they did it on their official website. They had Merseyside Reds versus Leeds United, and it was like, all right, because one of their directors held a shirt up at the lineup tonight saying "Football's for the fans." It's the hatred they got. These 6 teams. You watch when City rolls into Villa Park on Wednesday. They ain't gonna get greeted with a nice reception. It's gonna be pure hatred going into that stadium on Wednesday night. And like you said, the players don't deserve that, because it's not their fault. Players have done this.
And there's things that, I mean, there's the other things, which is City, Chelsea, they'll do what they do. We have no say in it. That's why I said the thing months ago with you, Martin, about we're just customers.
Yeah.
We've never consulted on anything. they don't care about us. They don't. We only care and invest our time and energy and love for the club because it's our club. They don't care. They really don't care. They can spin it and PR it all they like. They don't care. It's that simple. And they haven't done for years. I'm talking about Man City. I'm talking about football clubs in general, in the Premier League in particular, because it's so awash with money. They don't. It's money, money, money. That's it. But what I do feel sorry for, I mean, you might look at it if you're an Everton fan or a Villa fan and go, well, yeah, let all these, the ones who are dominating the leagues bugger off, and then we might have a chance of winning the Premier League and things like that. It's not going to work like that because the investment is not going to be there. It's simply not going to be there from around the world. Who wants to watch? I know fans of each of those clubs will want to watch their own club, and that's absolutely right, and so they should. But investors around the world are not going to invest in the Premier League like they have done, the TV rights, when City, United, Liverpool, I mean, let's take it, two of the biggest clubs, overseas fan bases in the world, United and Liverpool. Well, they're not going to be in it. And then you've got Arsenal, and then you've got City and Chelsea. Nobody's going to want to invest in that. They'll probably throw the money into this Super League and go, well, that's definitely worth it. Look at all the big clubs there. We'll rather invest our, £50 million advertising budget into this rather than put it into the Premier League. But what I feel sorry for are those clubs because their revenue is going to drop. The Evertons, the Villas, your Burnleys, and all of these clubs, their revenue is going to drop. But more importantly, going back all the way down. All the way to grassroots, all the way to sort of non-league teams through to conference leagues. It's gonna have a massive effect on them at a time when they are desperately struggling, as it is. Yeah. So that's what sticks in my throat as well. It's like, well, we don't give a shit. We just do not give a shit about fans, other clubs, nothing. And for me, that's not what football is about. I just find it not only embarrassing, I find it shameful, disgraceful, and just horrible. And I'm ashamed of my club. I am absolutely appalled and ashamed of my club. I really am. My club. Yeah. But anything else? Because we could just keep going around in circles, couldn't we?
Someone did ask us if we will continue supporting them. That's been asked a lot actually on Twitter. Someone asked me that. I don't pay money and I don't invest in the club. I invest in my team, my players, the manager, the coaching staff. I don't go to watch Sheikh Mansour and Khaldoon and the backroom board. Of course, you want them to do a good job with your club because you want them to be financially stable. And we've been so proud of the investment in the local community and everything that they've done. We've always said they've done well. They've done right. They've gone about it in the right way, not increased debt with the club. They've done everything. And then they go and do this. And it's like, it's just fucking, I find it absolutely appalling. I really do. I will hold fire, though. I would like to hear from the club. I'd like to hear what the club say about this.
That's the point, Andy. They've been very quiet, quiet since. And I think that isn't helping. And whether they're sort of thinking, well, maybe we have done the wrong thing. Let's find a way out of this. Then maybe that, but they've done a lot of damage. What they've done, I think it will fail. I think the Premier League should show some balls and say, well, if you're going, you're going. You're not part of this.
The government.
I think that will force the hand because it's obvious. Yeah, that's what they want. They want to play in a weekend and play in Europe in a week. And the Premier League should turn around and say, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And UEFA as well from this point, if they get their wish, then UEFA need to reform.
I did listen to I don't know whether it was on last night's Monday Sunday Night Football. It was Robbie Savage and Rio Ferdinand were talking about it. And they said, you know what, it could even turn out to be a good thing because football might have to reform. We might start getting wage caps. We might start getting this. We might start getting that. And you know, money is running away with football. And maybe it's about time things do change. And maybe this is a reset for football. And let's hope the Premier League do stick to the guns and do something about it now. And let's, you know, maybe that's what needs. Let these greedy, you know, owners take their clubs into a European competition, into a worldwide competition, wherever it is they want to go. Let them go and just do it. Let them just go and do it. And then we can focus back onto what fans have always been about, going supporting football and watching football and supporting local teams and those type of things. I don't know.
I mean, to that, I will always love Man City. Will always be in my heart. Yeah, listen, as a football fan, you can't stick names in a hat and pull out and go, oh, I'll go and support this team this week. It doesn't work like that. But will I turn around and go up and down the country? 6 a.m. starts, 2 a.m. finishes. Will I be doing that? Yeah, I'm not too sure at the minute. I really am not, because they've got to get a lot more. They've lost trust with me a little bit. That's my issue right now. Trust. They've totally lost the trust. And I'd like you. I don't think it is a tactic at the minute. And apparently they've signed a 23-year agreement on this.
Yeah.
There's too much information come out for this to be a tactic. I've been watching that. He looked better.
I think it just froze there, didn't he?
It's 23-year commitment. They're even talking about how they're going to train the referees. They're so far down the line to how do you get back to a negotiating table? And that's why I don't think it is. That's just what I was thinking. That was all.
Yeah.
But I will always love City. I'm just sad. And I said it to my lad last night. And he got into football late. I will never probably ever take him to a Manchester derby again properly. You know, I'll never, you know, when COVID started, one of his birthday presents was going to watch Real Madrid at the Etihad for the Champions League. And he was so excited. And he went, Dad, I don't want to watch that every week, though. I want to see it as a one-off. I don't want to see it every... It's like the game you want. It's not an everyday thing. You know, so I'll always love them, but I don't think I'll trust them ever again. I won't believe them.
Yeah, well, City Chippy says they've made their mind up. They want it, but they won't get it due to the mass opposition to it. The damage is done, though, and irreversible. That's the sad thing. That's a sad thing. You know what? I'd even think now, City, go and do it. Go and do it. You know, you may as well go and get your money out of it and do whatever, because if they do a massive U-turn now,
you still can't win.
People are not going to suddenly go, oh, well done, Man City, for doing a U-turn. Not because of everything that we've done over the last number of years. Yes, time we might forget and heal. Parts of it might heal. But that trust element in the club is gone for me. It is gone. I'll never, ever be able to look at Khaldoon, listen to Khaldoon, and talk about Sheikh Mansour and the board, Farhan, Cheeky, but we don't know whether they're involved in it anyway. But I'll never be able to look at them and listen to them in the same way again. I certainly wouldn't be able to trust a word that they say. I really wouldn't.
It's got like going back to the, isn't it? It's like going back to the Swales days. You know,
yeah.
In that case, you know, you just don't have any faith in, and that's where we've been lucky compared to say United, who've had to endure the Glazers for as long as they have.
Oh,
you know, bleeding the club dry. You know, the worst owners you could want, and we got the best owners we thought. And you know, I just think they've scored a massive own goal, Andy, and.
They have.
And I don't know where they come back from this. It's time for all football fans to forget tribalism. We all need to, you know, stand together and say, no, you know, we're not having it. And if you do go, you're gone for good. And if that happens, if we're not playing in English football next season, well, I won't be supporting Manchester City ever again. That's the
I won't be. There's absolutely no way in a million years No way I would be supporting Manchester City if they are chucked out the Premier League to go and play in a 12-team competition in Europe. There's no chance. I don't even like Champions League football.
No,
I've said it all along, because until it goes back to its old format, I've never liked it, because it's just run by UEFA, and until they change as well. But to do this, there is no way in a million years I am watching 12-club competition in Europe. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
And there will be
what's that?
There will be a punishment to this, even if they like people saying, backtrack it. If you think the Premier League are just going to go, oh, come in, lads, never mind, let's forget about it. There will be a repercussion on the 6 that come back.
But, well, I think if they can pull the plug quickly on it, I don't know if they will, because you have to, these are the big clubs in the country. These are the people who bring in the sponsorship. The Premier League need these teams. That's certainly a very important aspect of it, because at the end of the day, it all revolves around money now. Football does, and the days of having local owners is gone.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, it's changed. It's the invention of the Premier League. At the time, people were all upset about that, weren't they? But
it was happening in the 80s, wasn't it? And it was happening in the 80s.
But the point being is that it wasn't a closed shop. The Premier League still had relegation and promotion and these type of things. Now, if they had something like that, because I would like I said, I've always been banging the drum for a change in the way the Champions League is formatted, and I would hope it would have gone back to its original format of the Champions only. But there's too much money involved, and now they're adding more teams to it. Bothered with that garbage.
I'm just wondering what this. So people are putting Sky statement just released. I'm just trying to find it. I can't find anything. It is what it is, unfortunately. And trust me, this isn't City fans. I spoke to a Chelsea fan. Go back and look at the video that's gone up. They're not happy. Liverpool are not happy. And like Chris says, we need to put tribalism away now, and we need to get together and we need to show that this is wrong. I do think football will change now. Even if this doesn't happen, I think football will change. But whether there's wage cut, there has to be something put in now, because it's getting out of control. But we'll see. I don't know what this Sky.
No, I've not seen. There's bits on Gary Neville and what he said tonight on the thing, calling the Glazers scavengers.
Oh well.
But that's now new. I think obviously Jamie Carragher's come out and said that he's appalled by, and like Neville said tonight, forget City and Chelsea in this, Spurs and Arsenal, blah, blah, blah. He said these are the 2 clubs that have been at the forefront of the Premier League and have driven, well-overseas fan bases. Liverpool and United, the 2 teams, the bastions of what he called the Premier League and everything else. And it was somebody on TalkSport, there was a caller came in, he was a United fan. He was very, very good. And he turned around and said, you know what? I just cannot believe that the owners of my club, Manchester United, have forgotten at Munich. There was our Busby Babes who died travelling into Europe, playing European football. And what they want to do is remove that legacy forever to join this Super League. He said, I'm absolutely disgusted by it. Absolutely.
I know apparently they've said your trophies will be transferred over. Apparently that's the new thing. So Real Madrid will start with 13 trophies.
Oh.
That's what they've said tonight. They're going to transfer. There's a thing earlier, I read it about half an hour ago before I come on. They're talking about transferring the trophy. So United will start with 2. Liverpool will start with 6. We'll have 0 and Real Madrid will go with 13. It's like, whether that's an appeasement for fans, I don't know. But
How can you start a new competition with your trophies from another competition?
Yeah. So already before it even begins, City on the getting stitched up. What was the point in joining? It was already.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Glazer as one of your bosses, you're getting stitched up completely because that's what they've said. Apparently, there's obviously not. Apparently, they're all these clubs are going to have access to this big, huge pot of money by JP Morgan over in the US, and they're all going to have this huge pot of money that they're all going to have access to. And then the 5 other clubs that join will get a smaller portion of that pot. They don't be allowed to dip into it. Only the founding 12 will be allowed to dip in like they can. It's like just close. And that's what crawls at me. We've become, and I've always said it, do we want to become what we've always hated? And last night I got my answer. Yes, they want to become what we've always hated, but what can you do? It's not. Look, we can bitch, moan, and complain. They're going to do it either way. If they want to do it, they're going to do it. And there's not what you can do.
There's not. Well, listen, we could just go around in circles, going over the same stuff. Like I said, more news will break tonight and tomorrow and things like that. Here's a classic one. Paul Standell says, "What makes you laugh is JP Morgan are having to borrow money to fund this. Sounds like the Glazers buying United."
Are they mortgaging all the stadiums?
It just is amazing. Like I said, we will know a little bit more tomorrow. Rumours in the media this morning was that City will not be making a statement for the next few days on this. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I think every City fan I've spoken to, we just want to hear from Calhoun over this and release a proper statement to the fans. No doubt they will do. I think they need to. I think they'll be forced into if they haven't even been thinking about it anyway. But I think the reaction has shown it today. It just has from fans of every single club, and rightly so. They need to stick together because it is just absolutely disgraceful. One Chuck Ridiculous says, the only thing I would say for balance is we're on the verge of bankruptcy before our owner arrived and we've enjoyed their money, so they have the right to make their business decisions. It's a fair point. Yeah. It's not about the business side of it. For me, like I said before, I don't know whether you saw it earlier, but for me, it's the knock-on effect it has for football. Not in the Premier League, but all the other leagues and non-leagues and conference and grassroots football, because the finances won't be coming in. And people say, well, we survived before skies and everything else. And maybe we go back to how it used to be before all this money came into football. But there you go. Paul says, thanks, lads. I'm fucking devastated. Come on, why does City act like nothing's happened? It's pathetic. I'm sure they're probably working on a state. They're going to have to be very, very careful because I think the first things first is maybe they're not making a statement because they've not made a final decision yet. Maybe they are actually thinking of pulling out of this. Who knows? And they're seeing what the reaction is like first. I've no idea. Go on, Chris. What?
No, I just think that I think they've made their mind up that they wanted to do it, Andy, unless they would never put their name to it anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think now they're looking at the biggest backtracking to get out of it, or they go through with it. Yeah. But the fact that I think Stephen Dempster put in there that BT and Sky have said that they won't show any of these games. Well, I should imagine that that's exactly what this 12 want. And they will have their own football channels where they will sell their games straight to the fans. There's the rumours that Amazon and all the others are going to be involved in it. So they're all going to throw their hats into the ring. And let's face it, Facebook and Google and Amazon and all of these and Netflix and all of these streaming sites. I've been trying to get into football for a long time, and if they see that the investment is there and the advertising is there and money's there and the views are there, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that's already sorted now anyway. Who's going to be streaming these games if it does go ahead? Warren Smith says, we was the working man's club, the underdogs going against the establishment and the man. Now we are the establishment. I'm so disappointed. Totally with you, Warren. Absolutely, totally with you on that. City have already left the ECA, haven't they? I've not seen that officially. I must have
rumours of it. There's probably a rumour.
It's been in the works for years, and it's what the 12 want, and it's about income from other parts of the world to see the big six, says Matthew. Ron is on. Of all the dirty dozen, we are the ones who have the biggest gripe with UEFA. Perhaps our board wanted to land a punch on them. Yeah, but then landed a punch on every single City fan who's supported them, and their families have supported them for decades and decades and decades and decades. So if it's a punch for Seferin, it's a punch for the hundreds of thousands and millions of City fans around the world as well, maybe. A bunch of billionaires sleeping together, yeah. Hope everyone is keeping well after this negative news. Yeah, fine. It's just, I'd just like to know a little bit more.
Hey, I went back to the Etihad, so I was great.
If Prime and Netflix get to show the games, then I will end my subscription. Ross says, let's start Man City Fan TV FC. We pick the team on FNS, and everyone has to have a decent haircut. Queen versus King. Will the Big Six still be able to play in the Premier League? We discussed that earlier. We don't know. Top and bottom, is it? We don't know. There's lots of rumours and speculation. We'll wait and see. I'm more concerned about this Norwegian UEFA delegate who said that by Friday, those 3 teams could be out of the Champions League, which leaves PSG on their own.
I'm not bringing Bayern Munich, Dortmund and Porto back in.
Ah, well.
That'll be their reward for not joining.
Yeah, it's mental. My biggest thing was, finally, was everyone's been talking, oh, well done Dortmund, well done Bayern, well done this. Listen, do you honestly believe if 51% of the club was owned by fans, that the fans would have voted this through? No chance.
No chance, right?
Absolutely no chance. So Bayern can come out with all their press statements about how fantastic they are, and their fans own 51% of the club. So do Dortmund. So if 51% of City fans own City, there's no way the fans would vote this through. No chance in a million years. Just wouldn't happen.
No.
So
people asking, because some have, yes, I am still going to do a watch along on Wednesday. Don't worry, I'm not going to. Toys aren't going out the prom yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how enthusiastic he'll be because he might not be playing for much, but.
Well, I think we'll wait and see. David Wallace said, would rather sit in the Championship with Frank Clark as our leader. Yeah.
I don't know
about that, yeah.
Frank Clark football.
Why all this hysterical opposition? Super League is the future. Clearly.
Go and enjoy it then.
Yeah. Get your armchair, get your cushion plumped up, get your remote control.
And that's what it is, isn't it? It's, I think for armchair fans, I think, they can't, they don't have that same connection, do they? And
yeah, it is what it is. Right. This is Andy from Man City Fan TV. And that's go over and watch the video. We put a video out. Martin was at the Etihad earlier. Spoke to a few fans outside the stadium. And you'll see the flags and everything else that were put up there outside the Colin Bell stand. And what a shame. You've got that massive mural and picture and photo of the King. And below it, you've got all of these City banners. I'm not happy with the club and these proposals. But go over and watch it. It's on the channel now. I want to say again a massive thank you to the patrons who have joined. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
The videos, I will just pull up a final shout. Philip Ward, Malcolm Horner, Ozzy, Charlie Everett, Ronnie Beaver, and Sean Fogarty. Thank you very much for that, mate, for becoming patrons. They have a video that was we edited and put out for the patrons. It was the Melbourne derby. Ross and Alan went to watch it. It's another interesting watch with the fans, and the celebrations were wild, absolutely wild. They were going crazy, some of the fans. I'm sure you've seen the results, but I won't say it on here. But you can go over and watch it if you are a patron. It's on the Patreon site, and I also sent videos to everybody so they can have a watch of it. There will be a very, very short edited version, probably a minute or two, where we'll show you some clips later on in the week from that. But the full video is 20 minutes or something of the game and the celebrations and everything else, an interview with fans inside and outside the stadium. But I will show you a very short clip later on in the week of it, just to give you a flavour of it. So don't forget, if you do want to be a patron, go over to Man City Fan TV patron site and just type in Patron Man City and come and join us, and you'll get access to more videos over there. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Fingers crossed. That's all. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that you know the sea sense, and you know, and we can you know, get back to what we're supposed to be doing on Friday, Andy, and you know, looking forward to bringing in plenty of trophies this season. But I don't know if this continues, it'll all feel a bit hollow, really. So
that we'll never compete for again. Enjoy the Carabao Cup, you'll never see it again.
I know. That's it. Right, still a City, but hate the greedy idiots. Good night, all, and that leaves us on to us to say good night. Thank you so much, and if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and join the Oilchester FC Oilers, whatever we're going to call ourselves in the future. But I certainly won't be part of it, that's for certain. But anyway, take care, and we'll get some more news to you tomorrow here on Man City Fan TV. But we'll see you soon.